Give the call to the honourable member for Fairfax.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. And this far-reaching gibberish that the member for Shortland has just extended was actually originally put by the member for Griffith, ironically, because in fact it was her predecessor who had the opportunity on 2 occasions, may I say, as Prime Minister, to do something about what he proclaimed to be the greatest moral challenge of our time, before, of course, he dropped it like a hot brick, Deputy Speaker. Secondly, every element of this motion is ideological claptrap, laced with pseudo-scientific hyperbole. The core proposition is that if Australia would only adopt a clean energy target in line, the mover asserts, with our obligations under the World Heritage Convention, and stop the development of a single coal mine in Queensland, much hated, of course, by Labor's left, then we will save the Great Barrier Reef. Preposterous stuff. Australia's total greenhouse gas emissions were 1.3% of the total global average in 2013, which was the last year for which we have reliable data. Now, that equates to 580 million tonnes of CO2, 580. The United States was 6,280 million tonnes. China, 11,735 million tonnes. By the way, in that 1 year of 2012 to 2013, China's increase, its growth in CO2 was 504 million tonnes, almost the same as Australia's total. And so here we have just one country's annual increase in CO2 equating to almost Australia's total annual emissions. Now, our 1.3 contribution, therefore, Deputy Speaker, is minuscule. Any suggestion that what we do or do not do here in Australia is going to have an enormous impact by just shutting one coal mine in Australia, is going to have an impact on the state of the Great Barrier Reef, is complete rubbish. The extent to which there's an impact on global warming, where there's an impact on emissions, then in fact, by ensuring that our relatively cleaner coal is in fact used and extracted from northern Queensland through the Adani mine, is better for the environment. Because of course, the millions of people, hundreds of millions in India, who still do not have electricity, are ultimately going to be using something, Deputy Speaker, and we know for a fact that if they do not use the cleaner coal from the Adani Carmichael mine, then they are going to be using poorer quality coal or other substitutes, which will have a net adverse impact on the environment. There is no environmental grounds to be opposing the Adani mine, as those opposite like to claim. Now, at the end of the day, we should also be reminded that the Great Barrier Reef has been faced with challenges before periodically, from cyclones to crown-of-thorns starfish and other bleaching events. And there is no evidence to suggest that any of these events are due to man-made carbon dioxide, let alone coal. Vast sections of the Barrier Reef have been written off before and yet recovered, Deputy Speaker. Despite all the doom and gloom from those opposite, the Great Barrier Reef is not on the World Heritage Committee's in danger watch list. And in stark contrast to Labor's own hapless record while they were in government, the Turnbull government continues to invest record funding to help protect the reef, including the joint $2 billion Reef 2050 plan. And so here we have the current government, Deputy Speaker, in defence, in protection of the Great Barrier Reef, and those opposite who are prepared to do anything to tear down the possibility of the Adani mine, a mine that is 300 kilometres inland from the Great Barrier Reef, a mine that promises not only a net environmental positive for the globe because of the substitutes, but indeed an enormous burn for the Queensland economy. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
I thank the honourable member for his contribution.